Welcome to The Explainer. I'm your host, and today we're bringing you a genuinely fascinating tech report. We're looking at a massive shift in the modern workplace, something that kind of challenges the very foundation of how we think about our weekly schedules. We're going to dive deep into a really bold experiment run by literally one of the biggest companies in the world. Welcome to today's special report. It's a question millions of professionals ask themselves every single Monday morning, right? You pour that first cup of coffee, you look at the long week ahead, and sigh. For generations, we've been told that hard work equals long hours. But well, what if that equation is entirely backwards? What if the real key to unlocking our true potential isn't working more, but actually working less? Can working fewer hours make us better at our jobs? Keep that central question in the back of your mind as we explore today's eye-opening case study. So to find the answer to that, we're looking at a major tech giant that decided to test this radical theory in the real world. We're heading over to Tokyo, an absolute epicenter of intense corporate dedication. Recently, Microsoft Japan decided to carry out a plan for a 4-day work week. Notice that key phrase right there, to carry out a plan. In business, it takes immense courage to not just talk about new ideas, but to actually execute them. And that's exactly what this company did. They literally gave their entire workforce completely paid Fridays off. No way, right? But hold on. This wasn't just some sudden, unstructured summer holiday for the staff. Not at all. It was a highly organized data-gathering mission. Their goal was crystal clear. During the summer, they wanted to track the progress of their workers and carefully assess the suitability of a 3-day weekend. The executives needed cold, hard data. They absolutely had to know if giving everyone a prolonged rest period would genuinely benefit the organization's output, or if, it would just cause critical projects to fall way behind. Now, calling this a massive cultural shift is honestly a bit of an understatement. It was a spectacularly bold move, especially when you consider the traditional working environment over there. In Japan, traditional companies often receive complaints from overworked staff about too much overtime. The expectation to just stay late at the office, to push yourself way beyond healthy limits, well, it's been a deeply ingrained part of their corporate ecosystem for decades. And as you'd guess, it frequently leads to intense burnout and widespread exhaustion. Microsoft, though, they wanted to completely flip that narrative and break away from those punishing norms. They recognized what we all kind of know. Employee burnout rarely leads to breakthrough innovation. However, Microsoft wanted to create an environment where everyone feels supported. They hypothesized that if employees actually felt rested, valued, and genuinely backed by their leadership, their performance would just transform. It's a fundamental pivot, really, moving from treating employees like cogs in a machine to treating them like actual human beings who need to recharge. The theory behind this experiment was simple, but incredibly powerful. By working only 4 days, employees could easily adapt to different circumstances in their personal lives and still make a huge contribution to the company's success. Think about your own life for a second. When you have the flexibility to, say, take care of a family member, or just take a day to breathe and reset your mind, you return to your desk with much sharper focus, right? That balance is exactly what allows you to deliver a much more meaningful contribution when you're actually on the clock. Of course, a structural shift of this magnitude doesn't just happen by magic. You can't simply chop off 20% of the work week and expect amazing results if you keep operating the exact same way. To make this work, the company had to change its daily routines. This meant taking a hard, really critical look at every single hour of the day and ruthlessly eliminating anything that wasn't strictly necessary. Efficiency literally had to become the absolute top priority across the board. So, what do you think was the very first target in this quest for workplace efficiency? You can probably guess it by looking at what's on your screen right now. The dreaded traditional office meeting. Because traditional meetings often take up too much time, managers encourage workers to choose quick online chats over long face-to-face meetings. Makes sense, doesn't it? Instead of gathering 10 people in a conference room for an entire hour just to share basic updates, they utilized instant messaging. They set strict time limits on the necessary meetings, which freed up just massive amounts of time for actual focused work. All right, so as the summer trial came to an end, the entire corporate world was watching closely. Analysts, executives, and workers globally were all wondering the same thing. Did this compressed schedule pay off, or was it a really costly mistake? Well, the final results managed to completely fulfill everyone's expectations. Actually, scratch that. They didn't just fulfill expectations, they absolutely shattered them. It provided a definitive answer to that core question we asked at the very beginning of this explainer. The outcome was truly staggering, and you can see the key metric right here. Despite working one less day a week and spending significantly less time in the office, productivity actually rose by 40%. I mean, let that sink in for a moment. A 40% jump in productivity, all because employees were more rested, less stressed, and freed from the burden of endless time-wasting meetings. It completely redefines the relationship between time spent sitting at a desk and the actual value being generated. And you know what? The incredible benefits went far beyond just the work output itself. There were immense logistical and environmental advantages too. Furthermore, with the office closed every Friday, the company was able to consume much less energy and electricity compared to the previous year. They also printed significantly fewer pages of paper. So, this shorter work week proved to be fantastic for the employees, absolutely incredible for the company's bottom line, and undeniably beneficial for the environment. A win-win-win. Now, this success is really just the beginning of a much larger conversation about the future of work. The company isn't stopping here. Before conducting their next experiment, Microsoft will ask for their employees' input. By constantly evaluating this feedback, they're proving that the modern workplace doesn't have to be rigid. It can evolve. And it shows that prioritizing employee well-being and actively listening to your workforce might just be the absolute smartest business strategy of the 21st century. This brilliant case study certainly challenges everything we thought we knew about the standard 5-day grind. It proves that rethinking our deeply ingrained routines can lead to extraordinary outcomes for everyone involved. So we leave you with this final thought to ponder. Whether you're studying for an exam or heading to the office tomorrow, what do you think about this new way of working? Thanks for joining us for this explainer.